Okay, I'm back. Let's do part two. Um, where did we leave off? Number one, which is really like the first question of the second part, I guess, because we already did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then for whatever reason it starts again at 1. But let's do it. For this problem, you're looking at angles 1 and 5. There's 1, there's 5. Those are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles, when the lines are parallel, should be congruent, not supplementary. So the equation that you would write is one where the 5x plus 2 is equal to 7x minus 18. From here, I'd subtract 5x from both sides, and I'd be left with 2 equals 2x minus 18. You'll add 18 now to go up to 20 equals 2x, and then dividing by 2 gives you 10. So x is 10, but how do you find angle 8? Well, look in here, angle 8, we can see that 5 and 8 are a linear pair. So you might want to do this problem in 2 steps. You'll find the measure of angle 5 first, because 5 is given to be the 7x minus 18. So now you can take the 10 that we figured out x was and plug that in for x. So you get 70 minus 18, which is 52 degrees. Then, since that's what angle 5 is, you know that angle 8 and 5 are supplementary. So you know that the measure of angle 8 is just 180 minus 52, which is 128. And that's it. So that's one. Number two. So 2 is asking about angles 3 and 6. And 3 and 6 are same side interior angles. That means they are supplementary, not congruent. That means the equation should be one where the 65 minus 3x and the 10x plus 87, those two things will add up to equal 180. So let's see. When you've got a whole bunch of stuff on the same side, you want to just combine it like normal. So I see an x term, negative 3x, and I see another x term. Those you want to add together. Then I see a constant, the 65, and I see the 87. Those you want to combine too. So adding negative 3 to 10 basically means you're taking negative 3 away from 10. So those will combine to make a 7x. Then 65 and 87 makes, I don't know, 65 and 87. That's 12, carry the 1, so 15, so 152. And that equals 180. So now from here, you'll subtract 152 to be left with 28. And then you'll bring down the 7x. Now just divide by 7, and we'll see that x is 4. Now we got to find angle 8. And 8 right there is vertical angles with 6. So we know that the measure of angle 8 is equal to the measure of angle 6. And the measure of angle 6 they gave us up here is the 10x plus 87. I'm not sure how well that orange is showing up. So let me just turn that dark red or something. Maybe make it a little thicker too. All right, so what do? We are gonna plug in 4. So we get the 10, right back to orange. Huh, okay. So you just plug 4 in for x. You get 10 times 4 plus the 87, which is 40, plus 87, which is 127 degrees. And that's it for number 2. We found measure of angle 4. We found the measure of angle, or we found the value of x is 4, and we found the measure of angle 8. 3. So the two angles you're given this time are 3 and 2. And 3 and 2 are a linear pair. So just like in the last problem, 3 and 6 were same side interiors that made them supplementary. This time we've got a linear pair. Those are going to be supplementary too. One sec. Okay, back. So these are a linear pair. So what do you know? You know they're supplementary. What do you know they aren't? They're not congruent. So since they're supplementary, you'll set up your equation the same way we set up the equation in number 2. We said that the one angle plus the other angle added up to 180. So you want to set this one up the same way. You'll say that the 81 plus the 9x plus 27 equals 180. And again, when you've got like terms together on the same side of the equation, just combine them like normal. Don't try to subtract 27 from both sides. Definitely don't subtract 27 from the 81. They're already together on the left-hand side. Just add them together like it says to. It says do 81 plus 27. Okay, so do that. You get 108. And then you got your 9x too. So this side of the equation becomes 9x plus 108, and that equals 180. So you subtract the 108, and the 108 cancels, and over here you're left with 72. Then you divide by 9, and you find out that x is 8. Now if x is 8 and they want you to find 7, your best bet would probably be to recognize that 7 and 3 are corresponding. So 7 has to equal 3, which means I don't have to do any work. It says right here 3 is 81. So if you really want to justify your work, you'll say that the measure of 7 equals the measure of 3, which is 81. So it's 81. So that was kind of an easy one. You didn't have to do any extra work, really. Let's try 4. For 4, you're given 3 and 5. That's this guy and this guy. Those angles are alternate interior. Again, one's to the left of the transversal, one's to the right of the transversal. That makes them alternate. And then they both lie between P and Q. So they are alternate interior angles, and they will be supplementary. So the equation is back to the one where you just set the expressions equal to each other. So 6x plus 5 equals 4x plus 27. And to solve, I've got x's on the left and x's on the right. So you'll subtract the x's on one side. Get them to cancel out. Now over here on the right, we only have 27. Over here on the left, we only have 2 x's left plus 5. So now you can subtract 5 from both sides to get 2x equals 22. And then dividing by 2 tells you that x is 11. So that's not so bad. Now they want you to find the measure of angle 7. So here's 7. And you could go either way with this. 7 is vertical angles with 5, so 7 equals 5. But 7 is corresponding angles with 3, so 7 could equal 3. So really just look at these expressions and pick the one that looks easier. I'm kind of partial to the 6x plus 5, I guess. So we can say the measure of angle 7 equals the measure of angle 3. And the measure of angle 3 is 6x plus 5. But I know that x is 11, so 6 times 11 plus 5 should give me my answer. So that's 66 plus 5, which should be 71. Sorry, got ahead of myself. 66 plus 5 equals 71. So 7 is 71 degrees. Yeah. Okay. 5 is more of the same, but I'll keep going in case you guys need the help. 6 and 8 are vertical angles, so that makes them congruent, not supplementary. Yeah, so I had a feeling I screwed this up. I don't know why I said that in the last question. Obviously these angles were not supplementary. Those were supposed to have been congruent. My bad. I did the math right. We set them equal because they were congruent. I circled the wrong thing for some reason. Anyway, try not to do that again. So these guys are congruent too. So you'll set it up just like the last problem where the 7x plus 10 should be equal to the 10x minus 35. Yeah, okay. So same thing. The 7 is the smaller amount of x's, so I always like to subtract the smaller number of x's from both sides, just so I can avoid getting a negative. So that means over here I still have 10. Over here I now have 3x minus 35. I'm now going to add 35 to both sides, so this will go up to 45 equals 3x. And then you divide by 3, and you get 15. So now how do you find the measure of angle 1? Well, looking at angle 1, it looks like your best bet is to recognize that 1 and 8 are same side exterior angles. So 1 and 8 will be supplementary. So let's start by finding the measure of angle 8, which is 10x minus 35, which means it's 10 times 15 minus 35, which is 150. Minus 35, which is 115 degrees. Now that's angle 8 though, and we wanted angle 1, so remember that angle 1 and angle 8 are supplementary. So you know that the measure of angle 1 is just going to be 180 minus the measure of angle 8, which is our 115. So that leaves us with 65 degrees. That's it. And then I think there's just this one last problem, so let's burn through this one. They're talking to us about 1 and 8, and we were just kind of talking about these angles. Those are same side exteriors, which means we are back to being supplementary instead of congruent, and that means we would write an equation that says that the 77 plus the other angle, 15x minus 32, would say that all that equals 180. So to combine like terms, 77 plus or minus 32 would leave us with 45. And of course the 15x you'll just bring down. And all that should equal 180. So now if you subtract 45 from both sides, we can get it to cancel. And over here we'll get 135. Then we can divide by 15. And I don't know what that is. 120. So it's 9. It's 9. So x is 9. Okay. Then to find the measure of angle 3. 3 is right here. 3 and 1 are vertical angles. So we can just use angle 1 to get angle. Oh, we're done. 1 is 77. We already knew that. And if 1 is 77, then 3 is automatically 77 also. So that's it. That's your whole review sheet. I hope everything's making sense to you. I hope you studied all of your special angle pairs. You got to know these inside and out. So know them when you see them. You got to be able to give examples of every single kind. You got to know how to write your equations and solve them. That's going to be the biggest part of the quiz, I would say, is knowing which special angles are which, knowing how to write and solve your equations. If you can do that, you're going to be in a pretty good position. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to post these videos now, and of course, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments, and I'll try to check the comments and help you out before you got to do this quiz on Monday. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.